All right, Mayor, we're good to go.
All right. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of 2020 meeting dates were published in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Easton Express Times on January 9, 2020, and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. Action may now be taken. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Columbus. Ferry.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Strain. Here. Zappa.
Here.
Lee.
Here. We found out George had a work commitment tonight, so sometimes the paying gig takes over and you got to go there, so he won't be joining us. Motion to dispense with the reading of the February 13th, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Ferry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to approve the February 13th, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Ferry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Abstain.
Zappa.
Abstain.
Okay, first up tonight, we have a visitor with us, Ms. Lisa Hibbs. She's going to go and give us a presentation tonight on the Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative Program.
Thank you so much for your time. I promise I'll be quick, or as quick as I can be, to get through some of the technical pieces of the legislation that governs community energy aggregation, otherwise known as government energy aggregation. So we should start with how we got here. So energy deregulation in New Jersey occurred in 1999. So since 1999, we've had a decoupling of our delivery from our supply. Okay? So before 1999, power plants generate the electricity, gets delivered to our utility companies, comes through the wires to us. 1999, the state introduces suppliers. If you think back to Bell Atlantic or Ma Bell, same thing happened in the energy industry. Okay? So right now, what we're talking about is the state chooses our suppliers right now every February. They go out to auction. In June, our rates are reset. New suppliers take effect for the default. We can, since 1999, choose our own suppliers. Most of us don't, but some of us do. So the only thing that the program does is change the supplier. It does not change your relationship with your utility. JCP&L will always be your utility. Okay. All right, so I mentioned a statewide auction. The first week in February, Monday and Tuesday, the Board of Public Utilities held an auction for residential and commercial electricity here in the state. And these are the winners of the auction. So come June 2020, these are the folks that will be powering the electricity in this building and in our homes, okay? So these guys are the guys that are feeding the grid right now. So when we talk about the program, we're replacing these guys with another guy, okay? We're not replacing JCP&L in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So what is aggregation? The aggregation process works in parallel to what the state does. We just do it at a local level. Smaller pocket of population, smaller usage load, and it attracts different suppliers. We also do it at a different time in the energy market, perhaps taking advantage of a dip, right, rather than just February. BGS auction is held every February, sets the rate for the utility's default rate, okay? You'll hear me say that probably 9 times in the presentation. New rates take effect in June of every year, utility's default rate. Title 14, Chapter 4, Subsection 6 is where you can find the regulation promulgated by the board that governs government energy aggregation programs. Community energy aggregation replaces the default rate with a new price based on a community's local usage, right? So your aggregate usage, or what we're talking about tonight, would be the Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative. So by taking y'all out separate from the state, again at a different time in the market, we can achieve lower rates. Replaces the default rate with the price based on the community's local usage. Bulk purchase electricity from a third-party supplier is how this works. communities are able to obtain rate reductions on their supply costs. Month-to-month savings is not guaranteed. Okay, there could be months in the summertime when JCP&L flips to a two-tiered rate. We've got a low rate for under 600, a higher rate for over 600. Last summer, there were some residents that were impacted in the program, not horribly. It was to the tune of $3. Most months they were saving $15, okay? We'll get to some details about the Hunterdon Co-op in a minute. Consumer protections not normally available in an individual contract, such as the rate cannot be changed, the term cannot be changed, the supplier cannot be changed without a formal written information packets out to participating residents in the program, notifying them 30 days before any change, allowing another opportunity for residents to review that information and make another informed decision as to whether they want to participate or not. Okay. So how the process works, ordinance, resolution, and agreements. Right now, Highbridge is in the process of considering an ordinance. The ordinance does not obligate you to move forward with an energy aggregation program. It only allows you to do that. It's the step that's required. I'm with Commercial Utility Consultants, one of the energy consultants for the Hunterdon Co-op. We prepare all of the bid documents. Again, we're going out to auction. Those documents must be reviewed by the Board of Public Utilities and Division of Rate Counsel. Comments will be given back to the municipality on those documents. We hold the energy auction if we receive bids that are lower than JCP&L's default rate at that time. We can move forward with an award. If we do not receive bids that are lower than JCP&L's default rate, we can't move forward with the program. It's prohibited. So, energy auction bid for the program has to be lower. We begin outreach to residents about the program. That includes mailings, public outreach meetings. We have an in-state call center, so this is an opt-out program. In order to get the rate, everyone has to be included. It does not mean you have to stay. And we do provide a few hopefully convenient ways for folks to opt out, one of which is an in-state call center. We'll post a video about the program on the program's website, customized webpage. We also provide information about the program for the municipality's website, and we'll repeat the auction at the conclusion of the term of the contract if an award is made. Okay, so when a supplier is awarded, there is an initial 30-day opt-out period. This gives everybody time to review the information packet that is mandated to be mailed out to every eligible resident within a geographic boundary. That will include all of the information, the rate, the supplier, the term, and it will also include the rate of JCP&L's default rate at the time we went out to auction. Okay. You can opt out by returning a postcard that's going to be in that information kit, the 800 number that I mentioned on the previous slide, and the customized webpage. It has an opt-in, opt-out button. Okay, so you can decide any time during that initial 30 days or after whether you want to opt in or opt out of the program. There are no fees associated with participating or not participating. There is a permanent opt-out feature, so if we're successful at the time of auction and you decide, you know what, not only do I not want to participate now, I don't want to be automatically included in anything going forward. We do have that permanent opt-out feature. It doesn't mean you can't opt in, it just means you won't be automatically included. Okay, so the program includes what we call eligible residents. That is anyone who is not with a third-party supplier at the time of auction and who do not have solar. Not that we can't include solar customers. The way the net metering works, it tends to inhibit the credits that are received through the net meter. So we just sweep those customers out. All current services, delivery, meter reads, billing, all of that, service issues, all still going to be covered by JCP&L, right? The only thing that we changed was the supplier, the source of the electricity. Residents continue to call the utility for service-related questions, outages, tree limb hanging over my wire. Residents still receive one bill each month from the utility. Okay. Budget billing is offered, so if you're on an equal payment plan at the time that the program is rolled out, you'll be included as a budget bill customer. If budget bill is something that you want to look into after we get the program started, certainly available to you. There are no fees to be part of the program or not part of the program. No one from the program will call or knock on doors. It tends to happen once our other suppliers hear about a program starting in a town. Sometimes you'll see a little bit more folks knocking on doors asking for copies of bills. Don't ever do that. If you do, ask them for a copy of the contract before you sign anything. Okay. Renewable government energy aggregation. This is the credits through renewable. You can certainly talk to us about that if that's something that the town is interested in. The Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative will have a feature in its next round for 100% renewable. Okay. It will be an opt-up feature. I don't know what the price is going to be because we haven't gone out to auction yet, but it will be available. Okay. So again, the only thing that we're changing on your bill, where it says basic generation service, this is the utility default. That would be replaced by, supplier XYZ. The rate per kilowatt hour will be posted. Also on your bill will be a note. Don't let this fool you, it's usually buried with other things. But it will have the price to compare. So it will have the default rate for JCP&L for that billing period. So you'll be able to compare the price through the program versus what you would have paid had you stayed with the utilities default. Okay. So some benefits. No predatory contracting. It doesn't auto-renew. Any change to the program must be communicated to participants in writing at least 30 days before the change takes effect, giving everyone time to make an informed decision. Reduced rates, budget stability, flexible participation for residents. A lot of times folks are really good at taking advantage of some shorter term contracts that come from third-party suppliers. Once you're in the program, it does not mean that you can't take advantage of another supplier's offer. You can certainly opt out and opt in as many times as you want. Residents continue receiving one bill from their utility. Current services still provided by JCP&L. Budget billing and equal payment plans are offered, and the outreach is done by our team, so it may not be me. I'm here because my counterpart is ill, but it's done by our team. It's not like we outsource it to someone and you're going to be sort of the bait and switch. So, just to give you a quick update on what the Hunterdon Co-op is. This is sort of the basic community energy aggregation. The Hunterdon Co-op has been in existence since 2018, started with 3 towns. The Borough of Califon is the lead agent. Bethlehem Township and the town of Clinton were also original members. They all started the program in March of 2019. Washington Township joined them shortly thereafter in April. And since that time, they've saved $116,000 as a total for all of their participating residents. Right now, we are in the process of onboarding Mendham Township, Chester Township, and Morris counties. They start in March of 2020. We've added Delaware Township, Kingwood Township, City of Lambertville, and Frenchtown as of April. And we've got Stockton, Pennington, West Amwell, and Hopewell also looking to join. So it's tripled in size and possibly about 4 times its size once we're ready to go out to auction. Again, the ordinance does not mean that you have to proceed with an energy program. It just is the first step in getting one established. Okay? So I'll open it up to questions.
Is it a situation where the more municipalities that come on board give you more power in the auction? So
That is the theory, yes. We've got 3 other co-ops that we work with. We've got the Sussex Warren Co-op that has 15 towns in it. We have the Morris Co-op that has 12 towns in it. We also have a Monmouth Ocean Co-op, which has 5 towns in it. So
And the rules that are up here about like notification for residents of everything, is that your company's policy or is that law?
that is law. That is mandated in Title 14. So Title 14 is about 27 pages long,
Okay.
and it does lay out very specifically timelines and what information has to be included.
Thank you.
I have a question. So a lot of us as just individual residents have gotten letters from companies promising to lower our rates similar to this. This is completely separate from that, correct?
This is completely separate from that, exactly. So when we talk about the information kit, it is branded to the municipality and or to the cooperative. It will have a cover letter from the town saying, yes, this really is our program. When a resident gets a switchover letter from JCP&L saying, hi, we understand it's your intention to go ahead and join your municipality's co-op, it actually says your municipality's cooperative. So that it's not, it doesn't, we hope it doesn't look like junk mail. Chances are, some folks are gonna mistake it for junk mail, but we try our best. We also suggest highly that we do some outreach presentations, just like this, for residents. We can do that even in advance of any auctions or joining any cooperative, just so that folks sort of get the idea of what this is. They hear about the program, they know about the consumer protections, and they get a better feel. That way, when the information kit, hopefully we're successful at auction, when they receive that, they're more aware that, okay, this is Highbridge's program, this is what I've been watching for.
Is everybody automatically opted in unless they opt out?
Yes. Yep, that's the way the statute is written.
Okay.
Again, we try to make it as simple as possible for folks to opt out.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
I have to go up to the microphone?
Who are you, sir?
I'm Pablo Delgado, 9 Hickory Circle, first time here at council meeting. You mentioned something about the participation of residents, and the way I heard you said something like most residents have to participate. I don't know if that's what you meant, but I want to understand, if people opt out, is there a certain threshold that if an opt out, that then the municipality loses the
Brilliant question. No,
contract?
we could be left with one guy out of with 1,400 homes. We could be left, that person would still get the rate for the contract term. Come renewal time, that one guy's probably not gonna get a great rate. So we hope that not everybody opts out, but no, the price, once it is set at auction and an award is made, regardless of the participation, that's the program rate.
Yeah, and along those lines, all these municipalities are coming together into the co-op. I guess we're getting all pulled together in the same body of, okay, so then everybody gets the same rate. So,
Yes.
because we're kind of a small town compared to some of the ones you mentioned, so we all have.
You will all have,
Reporting
so
together.
JCP&L customers will have the same rate. We do have some towns that have PSE&G customers as well. All of those PSE&G customers would also have the same rate. There will, again, be the option to opt up into a 100% renewable option. The price will be the same for JCP&L customers for that product. Again, PSE&G customers will probably have a different price, but it will be universal throughout the program. It's not like one town is gonna have one rate and another town will have another.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I did leave my card with Bonnie. Feel free to share that with residents, should anyone have questions. You can also visit the Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative's website to see what's currently going on with our 10 towns that are involved in that. That website is www.njaggregation.us/HABC. And again, I'm happy to provide that to Bonnie or to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And as Lisa mentioned, and as we mentioned at our last meeting, this is really not saying we're doing this, but it's opening the door to allow us to start having more meetings, talking about it. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense. We're not talking huge savings, whether it's $5 or $15 on your bill. It depends on how much energy you use, obviously. But every little bit helps. Every situation is different. There's an opt-out program, or an opt-out feature. It's not permanent, so I really don't see, I don't see a downside. I don't know if anybody else does, but we're gonna have more conversations about it. So, thanks, Lisa. Did anybody else have something?
No, it's good.
I just saw Sustainable Jersey points on there.
I know, I saw that too. Okay, public comments. It is the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue shall be limited to 5 minutes per person, and no person may make more than one comment per subject. Comments may be made on any subject pertaining to borough issues. Comments pertaining to public hearings should be saved for that section of the agenda. No debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to mayor and council at the public microphone. Public comments. No? All right. Public hearings. We have a full plate here of public hearings tonight. Ordinance 2020-006, authorizing participation in the Hunterdon County Cooperative Electric. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move it. Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry. Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Any other public comments or thoughts on the Hunterdon Area Cooperative?
We're just exploring it, right? So I mean,
We're still exploring,
I mean,
yes.
that's what it is.
This is the authorization to move forward with the exploration. Okay, motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2020-006.
Move. Second?
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-006.
Before we do that motion, I just want to clarify, because in looking at the ordinance, I want to make it very clear, the ordinance does specify the mayor has the authority to execute any documents, but I'm presuming based upon the discussion before she did anything like that, she would come back to discuss it with council.
Yeah.
But the ordinance does say, does give her the authority to execute any documents. Just wanted to clarify that.
The plan
Thank you,
is
Mary.
we're still going to have some town hall meetings to, really put this information out there. I don't know, Lisa, if we would send that information out to everyone ahead of time. Yeah, so there's gonna be plenty of opportunities for,
Just when we say it's, just exploring, I just want to make sure the council is aware that before they vote to, adopt it, that, that authority is in there.
It is exploring.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay.
But mayor's intent is not to surreptitiously
No,
sign a
absolutely.
bunch of documents
No.
tomorrow, I don't think.
No.
I mean, I don't think. right?
But I am interested in taking this to the next step and get more residents involved and aware of what's happening. And, you never know, there's a resident that comes forward that, convinces us it's not a good idea at all.
That's possible.
Right now, personally, I'm not seeing anything to not want to participate in the program, but the residents should have that say in the matter too. So. Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-006.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Thanks, Lisa. Ordinance 2020-007, purchase of a sewer camera. Motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2020-007.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strain.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes. This ordinance is exactly what it sounds like. We're appropriating money for a sewer camera, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a camera that DPW can use to examine sewer pipes from the inside. It's for finding leaks, finding clogs, finding roots, all those things.
Alligators.
Alligators, turtles, that, all those things that is part of their job, going to make their job a little bit easier and our sewer lines a little bit better.
the appropriation is for $10,000 for the SOAR camera. That does not mean that the SOAR camera is going to cost $10,000. It's just the amount that we're appropriating to make sure that we cover the cost.
Now, the video from this will be live streamed to our website, of course, for everyone to watch. Oh, yeah.
I actually have a video from when I first came on council. There was a SOAR problem, and we had it scoped and videotaped, and I have the video. It's not exciting.
I'm sure it's a lot better on video though in person.
Oh, yes.
So,
Better to watch the video. Okay.
any public comments on the sewer camera? Thoughts, questions? Okay. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2020-007.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-007.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-008, sewer plant alarm system.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
You want to take this one too?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So again, this is another for the sewer. It says sewer plant. It's really our sewer pumping station, which we call our plant, right? That's as big of a plant as we have. It's the area where, or the plant where all our sewage is collected, and then it's pumped to Clinton for processing. The alarm system is for, it gives us alarm notification for high levels or bad pumps or something not working. It will alert the DPW or whoever is on call that there is a problem at the sewer pumping station. It's pretty much a lights out kind of operation, so it's good to have this system there. That's it.
Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2020-008.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-008.
Move?
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-009, to amend the McDonald Street grant. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes. So as this ordinance says, it's an amendment to the funding pretty much for the McDonald Street project. Last year, we appropriated funds from capital improvement. We now are switching that so that the funds are coming from grant.
Motion, any thoughts from out there in the audience? Okay. Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2020-009.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-010, purchase of a bucket truck.
Yeah, we do need to, and motion to adopt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-009.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay. Very excited about that bucket truck, so.
I get out.
Motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2020-010.
Move.
Second?
Roll call?
Barry, I'm sorry, Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes. So this is a used bucket truck. Our bucket truck has not been operable for some time now. And this is a used bucket truck that Rick, our director of DPW, was on the search for one. He found one up in Branchburg, I believe it is, Colonial Motors up on 22. And it seems like a good deal. He's happy with it. It's a 2000 Chevy model. It's gas. It's got a 28 or 32-foot boom on it. This is used obviously for high work, right? Trimming limbs, putting up Christmas decorations, putting up signs around town, all those things. So, that's it. The appropriation again, $16,000, and that's enough to cover the cost. So the truck also needs to be inspected. It's a requirement to have the boom inspected before we purchase the truck.
Any other public comments? Motion to close public hearing for ordinance 2020-010.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2020-010.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 2020-011, ordinance confirming properties affected by vacations of portions of streets. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
I just want to give this a shout out that there's like 6 pages of supporting documents attached to this agenda tonight for those people that are affected by the alleyways. There's been much discussion at several of my coffees with the mayor about this issue. Tonight we're just introducing the ordinance. A letter went out today, or yesterday? Letter went out yesterday to all of these individual homeowners. We're gonna have additional town halls, and of course, a public hearing will take place next council meeting, so. The 26th, sorry, yeah, 26th. Ordinance 2020-011 shall be published in its entirety in the Express Times and/or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of March 26th, 2020. Ordinance 2020-012, Cat Bank. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Ordinance 20, we do this every year, there's really nothing new to state on this issue, it's not controversial. Ordinance 2020-012 shall be published in its entirety in the Express Times and/or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of March 26, 2020. Big news tonight, we are introducing the budget resolution 085-2020 with a public hearing date of March 26, 2020. Motion to approve that resolution?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
I think the most important thing to point out about that is we're not gonna have an increase in taxes this year, which, at least on the municipal budget side, which is really exciting. And we'll talk more about it, March 26th. Make sure you're there. Come ask questions. Okay. Consent agenda. Anybody wanna talk, pull, think, identify, more information?
No.
Special attention to, for those that are watching this video, Resolution 098-2020, Common Natural Recycling Facility dates. You have brush, leaves, whatever you want to drop off at the Natural Recycling Center at the Commons. The dates are listed on Resolution 098-2020. Motion to approve the consent agenda at, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes, with the exception of 097, from which I abstain.
And Zappa.
Yes, with the exception of 097, from which I abstain.
It's not quite on the agenda, but as part of tonight, Councilman Steve Strange is going to present his goals for the rec commission?
Okay,
Committee?
so I had thought I would do it during the
During your
reports,
thing?
if
Okay,
that's
that's
okay,
fine,
but I
that's
can do it
fine.
now, I don't really care. Either way is fine.
No, we'll wait for you to, your turn. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I don't want to cut in line. It's rude.
Councilman, well, then we might run out of time for the rest of the meeting, so.
Oh, thank you. Touche.
Mr. Zappa, would you like to?
Yes. So first off, on engineering, we sent out a notice this week. The McDonald Street project is going to get underway next week, so there's going to be a lot of closures there. The parking lot is going to be closed on McDonald Street until the project is complete. So that's getting underway. We're still moving forward with streetscape this year. We don't have a date yet. There's still a couple things that need to get finalized up, so we're working on that. I had a very good call today from an engineering firm in Trenton who has been hired by New Jersey Transit to finally get to work on the bridge on Krieger Road. So as everybody knows, this bridge, the surface of this bridge is plagued with potholes all the time. So it's something with the way that the bridge was constructed. It's New Jersey Transit's bridge, so they're responsible for it. We just do the normal maintenance on it, but the maintenance has been above and beyond. So this has been a couple of years in the making. We started talking to New Jersey Transit about getting this bridge repaired. The engineer that I spoke with today kind of said that once they get involved, that things start to move fast. So I'm hoping. We actually got a date a year or so ago, right? That they said spring of 2020 it was looking like. So hopefully it's still. I mean, we're probably going to be a little bit past that, but hopefully it's come along soon. The DPW has been getting stuff ready for the summer. They've been prepping the parks. They did some landscaping on Washington Avenue in the area of the new fence and the new street. It's looking really beautiful down there at the park if anybody hasn't seen everything. We had a sinkhole a few weeks ago on East Main Street that was explored and determined to be an old septic that had one of the walls of the septic had collapsed, so the rest of the dirt fell in it, and it was filled in and checked by the engineers, and we had a professional company come in and do that, so it's all filled in. We're looking for full-time help with DPW. We have 2 applications in so far, so if you know anybody who may be interested, check the website for the application. We had a big water main break on West Main Street, right in front of Rockies, a few weeks ago that caused a town-wide boil water alert. It was really just an extra safety precaution that we did because we had to shut down the water in order to fix that repair. DPW's been helping to prep for McDonald Street, and that's it. Aside from that, the recycling dates, as the mayor had mentioned, will be posted on the website for the recycling center. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hughes?
Okay, from environmental, we received a letter from the New Jersey Water Supply Authority, and they had applied for a watershed restoration grant, and they were asking if we could have a member from our environmental commission be a part of their team. It's a 3-year project, and they're looking at the Spruce Run and tributaries that go into Spruce Run Reservoir, and it's all focused on control of the algae bloom that affects them. So we're going to be a part of that 3-year project, and it was a grant that they got. And our Green Team also applied for the 2020 Sustainable Jersey PSE&G grant. It's a non-matching grant. We went for $20,000, of which if we get it, it would be going towards the improvement of the walkway path that goes from the Commons down to Van Sickle to get us onto Main Street. And we should hear about that in May.
Short and sweet.
Yep.
Councilwoman Moore, Finance.
Not much. The Finance Committee had been meeting to discuss the budget, which, as everyone knows, was introduced tonight. The public hearing is going to be on March 26th, and once the budget is approved, it will be made available to the public. That's it.
Okay, I'll run quickly, as quickly as I can through here. We don't have anything major from police. They're completing their ammo exchange. They have updated their firearms. There's some software that has been scheduled to be installed. It's finally installed. They're going to be training. Training is scheduled March 5th. They submitted a consultation request for bloodborne pathogens training. that meeting was done, and they're updating that. Let's see. They've contacted the county engineer about purchasing an LED yield sign for Church Fairview. I know we've talked over the years about wanting something there, and the county wasn't real excited about it, we'll just say. So, you know, we're pushing on that, and hopefully we'll get that all settled up. Okay. They're also looking to do borough archives creation at police headquarters, and so they're getting quotes for that. And some vehicles had routine maintenance. The fire department for January is the latest month I have all the details for. 24 alarms, 4 training sessions, CPR certifications, mandatory refreshers. They staffed Squad 51, which is the shared services program they've been doing. Responded to a porch fire on Main Street in January, kind of interesting. And they're completing their mandatory training, as well as the self-contained breathing apparatus fit testing. Okay, so that's all set there. I'm trying to go fast. I will say that I've I was not able to be at the most recent one, but the EMS squad, the big talk there is the merger that's, you know, the merger with Clinton into a new organization, and there's been a number of meetings discussing the details of that and how that's working. Most recently, I think, there was something with some other entity purchasing the website, a web address that they were planning on using like the day before they went to purchase it. So there are some little details to work out along the way, but that is moving along. I'll continue to emphasize that the plan is not to have our emergency squad closed down, but to have a combination of them with another group. So they'll still be operating out of our building is the idea, and attending our residents and providing a service. It's simply a way to try to keep the organization alive and serving people well. And a different name on the truck maybe, but it's still going to be providing service and from the same building. Many of the same people. Anyway, so that's moving ahead. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything else specific to that. I will say that there are a few things that have come up that will probably result in resolutions and ordinances regarding that in terms of name stuff, and there's been a question about a lease agreement for the building with that organization. But once again, these are details that will continue to come up over the next little bit, but it seems to be moving along. The rec committee, we had a rec committee meeting the other day. A major component of the discussion was, we were discussing with Tom, Harrigan, I believe, the president of JORBA, the Jersey Off-Road Bicycle Association. Took me a while to get that. Regarding the eventual completion of the downhill trails and the pump track. And also, more importantly, we were seeking information because they maintain a number of chapters and trails around the state, and they do the maintenance, they keep it up, the ongoing stuff falls on this volunteer organization. And so we were asking them how they deal with trail closures and alerting people to trail closures. And you know, when the trail is muddy, you don't want people ruining it by biking on it. And so we discussed a lot about how do they get that information out to the world so that people don't show up and then be like, well, I'm riding anyway because I drove an hour to get here. So in the next little bit, a month or so, I think we're going to be trying to work to consolidate and make it consistent town-wide, our way of dealing with closing and opening trails and alerting people to those things.
Steve, did I see that Annandale is making a connector trail from like Foran Park to?
There is yes, and that, of course that's not inside of Hybrid, so I was
right.
You're just trying to extend my report. But yes, peripherally, there are trails in the Springside area which extend out into Clinton Township with their approval. I mean, they didn't just secretly do it. So there are some that go out past that property line into that town, and those are going to be connected around about behind Springside Farm would be the where to picture it, to the Foran Field access point where there's parking and such.
Yeah.
To then, like I said, as one of the objectives, and in fact this has been discussed in the open space and recreation meetings, eventually, the objective would be in the long term to have people be able to move from place to place throughout the town or even into other towns, on trails, on their bicycles, running, walking their dogs, whatever, as opposed to have to go somewhere, walk around and leave to make connections between the various parks. And so that is
Yeah,
an example of
excellent.
that type of thing happening.
It's a big county goal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so that's a long-term thing, but yeah, this is a small example of that. Let's connect these two little things in the middle. So anyway, so a lot of discussion about those and how to connect things and how to make them consistent in terms of the signage. Anyway, so that was a lot of it. We also discussed the ordinances for the parks and playgrounds, the ordinance that forms the rec committee, and I think 2 or 3 other peripheral ordinances that just happen to mention the rec committee. And we have a red line here. I think we'll be introducing that the next meeting for introduction, to alter all of these ordinances so they're all consistent and modern and updated. Something we've been working on for quite a few months now. And I think we're ready. So that we should see that next time, is changes to the rec committee ordinance and how it is formulated. And it may include combination with the open space, the people that were involved in the open space plan, which will be introduced like next time or the next meeting, the one after, I forget which. So, okay, I got to that. Now here's some slides, they're very exciting. No, they're not. I'll put pictures on the first slide at least. I don't think I can read it from here, but I'll try and remember what it says.
You can stand.
That's not the one.
Oh, I thought you had your own energy company.
Yes, I formed an energy company the other day.
That means you have to recuse yourself on the vote.
It's only a community energy. Can you flick, who has it? Oh, it's just there.
Just give me a nod and all.
Just click, just say click.
Close this out. It's not in that folder. Just close out that folder.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then there's this one, yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's just the title.
The arrows, where the space was.
So I've started off simply showing the goals from the previous year and whether or not we accomplished them, what they happen to have been. Last year, we were looking to finish the recreation brochures, identifying the recreational opportunities in the town. We assist with Community Day, install a container or shed at the Commons Park, and have some new events. We're trying to have some new recreation-based events. And we accomplished those things. You may have noticed the shed at the park. We were there at Community Day, and we had the race and the fishing day. We also assisted with Soapbox Derby. Some of our kids helped start, and Pablo's out there walking. Anyway, we all got it going. We did not actually finish the handbook and ordinance revisions. As I said, we'll be introducing the ordinances on the 12th at the council meeting. We didn't realize there were as many, as I said, other little places where the rec committee was mentioned, so it took a little longer than we realized. And we had talked about creating a video of all-around High Bridge, specifically about recreation, which, once again, we've discussed but have not accomplished. So, 2020. The first few, this page is primarily trail related, and the first one is to develop standardized procedures for trail closures, as I said. There are kind of haphazard, hey, somebody posted on Facebook, someone else stands there and yells at people, someone posts a yellow tape on the trail, whatever. There's a variety of procedures happening now. We need something that's consistent and appropriate and that gets the word out to people before they get to the trail. We also want to make sure that we understand who is going to go out there and take care of these. We do have people that walk them all the time in the fall and blow leaves and other things, but you know, we should probably have a little more formal plan for that. And those two things we hope to have settled by April, because that is the time when the downhill trails and hopefully dog park and hopefully pump track are going to be opening, and hopefully some of the other trails will be opening around that time as well. So that'd be kind of a good goal to get some of that stuff settled by then. Also, there is going to be good signage at the downhill and pump track area as it's built. It would be nice if that was consistent with the other trails, which have nice signs, but not consistent. routed signs that are nice, but they don't match up with the other things. So having them all be consistent, I think would help people to see our brand, identify this as our one big trail system that belongs to High Bridge. And so we're looking a little further along down that because there's a lot more trails than just the two that are opening. And so coming up with what's going to go where will probably take a little longer. Outside of trails, we're reviewing and updating the field usage fees. A lot of that is coming from the finance office and from town hall, but also, a little bit of the rec committee might have an opinion, and of course, communicating that with the various organizations that use the fields for various things. Also to seek more recreation-specific sponsors throughout the year. It has been, in the past, primarily the events committee seeking sponsorships in our town for things, and then the heads of various events in particular. So rec has not done as many and has not sought as many sponsors. So that's the goal for this year. You may have seen recently, I know the mayor kind of reposted it out, a video by, I was thinking Fullbeard Steve's dad, but Greg Lindgren, that he made of scenes from around High Bridge, some of which were recreational, some which were some people salsa dancing, that guy and his wife, but anyway. But it was not rec specific, but that is exactly the type of thing that we were thinking of, something of that sort that just highlights some of the different things we have around this town. And so we're going to make that a priority this year, to gather footage, to then be able to be put together either by a third party or by ourselves or whatever. And then another one, to develop weekly and monthly meetups, to have an organized schedule of, hey, people are going to go jog on this morning, or every Tuesday at 4, whatever. Or go bike at this time, or something where there's a schedule that people can see, oh, stuff's happening, and then go show up for it. Okay, and of course, to continue building rec membership and meeting attendance. We had nobody 2 years ago, now we have people, but then we've had some conflicts, and people have found that they can't make the meetings, or things have come up. So we've begun seeking new members. We have 2 new people that will be coming to the next meeting, and we want to rebuild and really establish a consistent pattern of meeting. Colleen and I are tired of talking to each other. And then also to combine somehow or other the open space and recreation. There was a committee formed to deal with the open space and recreation part of the plan, master plan, and then some of those people we're hoping will still want to be a part of this and see that plan being implemented. And so that may provide some revitalization to the rec committee. Finally on here, as part of EDC, we had discussed doing a map that showed one of those, the cartoony maps they have at the shore of towns, things like that. Those cost anywhere from like $15,000 to $30,000 to have an artist come in and doodle and do. So we thought, well, maybe we can kind of develop one ourselves. Maybe it's worth trying. It's free. So we're going to see if we can come up with one that specifically highlights recreation around the town in maybe an appealing-looking way with directions and other information on it. That maybe it could be either sold or given away or something. Not huge, but something people might like to have hanging up or use as a map to carry around with them. A non-to-scale map. So that would be nice to do by September, because that's Community Day. It would be nice to have some examples to show people around that time. Is that it? I think that was it.
Councilwoman Perry.
Okay, so the update for the historical committee is the committee's looking to join the American Association for State and Local History. It's a national association which provides leadership and support for members who preserve and interpret local history, and they include trainings and discounts to help small museums. And the committee's also continuing their work on the historical registry nomination for Solitude House, and they are doing studies and recording architectural features of the buildings and landscape. This weekend from, I think about probably 10 o'clock till 6. Nancy Hunt, who's the chair of the committee, and committee members will be there throughout the day, so they invite council members to stop by and see what they're up to and see what they're doing. And of course, anyone who is walking by who wants to say hello and say hello to the committee, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities there. And we'll be presenting a more comprehensive, goals for historical committee later in March. And as far as the events committee goes, whoever had missed the goals that I presented last council meeting, they're up on social media for everyone to watch on the Hey Highbridge page, as well as my councilwoman page, if you'd like to check that out. We're already starting to get in donations, so I'm excited about that. We're looking to, have money that'll get us through this year and part of next. And as far as the borough website, hoping to have an update for everyone soon on that, on the decision that the committee will make for that. And I believe the deadline for, and Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, it's April 24th for the newsletter? Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that's really about it for now. That's the update.
Very good. Councilman Columbus is not here tonight. I know he's gonna wanna share his own goals, so we'll skip over him. Bonnie Fleming.
So it's been a busy couple of months. We were able
But you're still
to-
here.
Yeah, I'm still here. We were able to file our annual debt statement on schedule. We filed our annual financial statement ahead of schedule. We've gotten our budget now introduced before the statutory deadline. And as far as the administrative functions, I'm happy that Mike was able to leave me very informed on where he was with all the projects he was working on, so it was easy for me to pick up where he left off. And one of the projects we're working on now is the relocation of the Natural Recycling Center. That's a big project. One of the other items is working with New Jersey Transit, making sure all the proper documents are filed for the dog park and the pump track that's being installed. And I have to say that I'm been given a lot of support from the Borough Hall staff, and I'm very thankful for that, because I couldn't do it without them.
Doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
I will agree with Bonnie that it's been an incredibly busy couple of months. I think we've spent a good amount of time together. Just a lot of meetings. Really the only updates I had another successful as far as people showed up, coffee with the mayor. A lot of talk around the alleyways, which of course we're going to continue to talk over the next probably month, at least the next couple weeks. I went to a meeting last night of the Raritan Valley Line Mayor's Alliance, and I had the opportunity to speak about what Highbridge's main goals would be to get out of this group. As everyone knows, it's a group of mayors along the Raritan Valley train line. They're hyper-focused on the Gateway Tunnel, one-seat ride, which are wonderful ideas, and we're truly supportive. For Highbridge, it's still gonna be a long ride. One seat ride or not, it's still a 3-hour trip. But I was able to stand up and speak my mind about additional weekend service, and potentially Transit Village, that I know this is part of EDC, and showing up for these meetings for a number of years now has been a topic of conversation in Highbridge for quite some time. And most importantly, I talked about, and we've spoke about the 7822 Coalition, which is the mayors right here in Hunterdon County that are along the 7822 corridor, spoke about our group and how we as a group are going to be focusing mostly on weekend train service and, weekend train service. More trains, more access to trains. I think for Highbridge, it's just as important to get people on the train to come visit us, especially with all these wonderful trails we're putting in, than it is to get people that want to commute into the city. So still working on that. Next meeting, 7822 is on Tuesday morning. We had a meeting to continue the conversation about the energy co-op. We met with JCP&L and talked about converting a number of streetlights here in Highbridge over to LED. It's not as huge of an undertaking as I was hoping it was going to be, but it's still going to be a number of lights that'll save the borough some money. So we're looking forward to that. We had a meeting with the Huskies and talked about potentially converting those lights to LED, which, you know, we just talked about it. I don't know how much that would cost yet, but it's an idea that's out there. We're gonna, with the Environmental Commission, we're gonna continue to look for energy-saving ideas. Again, I don't wanna steal George's thunder, but we had a meeting with the golf committee, well, specifically Billy Casper Golf, and talked about the new lease of golf carts that we need to do up there. I tried as hard as I could for electric carts. We priced it out, we hashed it around, Chris was there, you know, it just financially just can't
It's
do
not
it
there
right now.
yet, a couple more years maybe,
Yeah.
next lease.
Believe me, if I could have only had extra $25,000 a year,
Right.
but, you know, we did ask a lot of questions, and I'll let George speak more about that at the next meeting. And the website, as Natalie mentioned, we've spoken with a number of providers, website developers. We're just now narrowing it down to pick the right one. Our next meeting is Monday night, and by then we will have made a decision and we'll start moving ahead with the website. So that's pretty exciting for this year. And I think that's it. Second round of public comments, 5 minutes per person. I knew this was when you were gonna come on.
No, it's very simple.
Oh,
Nancy Hunt, 103 Fairview Avenue. Just to add to what Natalie said about Saturday, we're gonna have, I hope I get this all right, a retired master plumber / electrician / home inspector there from 10 to 12. He's a father of one of our volunteers, and I've been moving to the area later, and he's eager to help us with items of his first look through, and he'll share his wisdom. So
Oh, that's great.
come with your notebooks.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Legal issues.
Nothing that I need to deal with, I just continue to provide legal support, working with the mayor, Bonnie and Adam on an ongoing basis, just everyday things.
Exemplary support. Bill list.
We have $989,807.32.
Motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Communications, Adam.
We have a septic system repair waiver request that was reviewed by our Board of Health, and the recommendation was made up to council, and that was passed in the consent agenda. That's the report from Mazer Consulting on that, and the Tax and Finance monthly reports.
Excellent. If there is no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus. Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Next council meeting, March 12th, 2020, 7:30, right here at the firehouse.
Be square.